The department store chain House of Fraser has asked for a reduction in the rents it pays for some of its stores. The company says it's contacted landlords asking for their support. House of Fraser has been battling to cut costs after suffering significant losses in the last 6 months. Rival chain Debenhams is also struggling. It issued a profit warning this week after disappointing pre-Christmas sales. Let's speak now to Kate Hardcastle, who runs retail consultancy Insight with Passion. She's in Wakefield. Kate, thanks very much for being with us on BBC News this morning. What do you make, first of all, of this? Is this a worrying sign?
I think it's a very honest look of where the retail environment sits. This time last year, House of Fraser were issuing warnings saying it had been a very challenging, difficult year for them. And in the 12 months that have followed that, there has been no real change into their marketplace. Their consumers are still tight on budget. There are still more and more entrants flooding the marketplace. We've now moved from one in every £7 being spent online to one in every £6 being spent online. And we're buying more experiences and less non-food items, particularly high fashion. So this is all eating away and challenging brands like Debenhams and House of Fraser.
House of Fraser has tried to move online, hasn't it?
It has, and all of these brands do have an online presence, but there's a real difference between having an online presence, which is basically a catalogue for you to purchase online, and there being a real online brand, such as ASOS. And we know from ASOS that their figures have been superb this year. They're very in the environment. They're interacting and engaging with the customers on social media. And it's part of a whole movement that the consumer's excited about certain elements of fashion. House of Fraser don't have that speed of efficiency. They don't have that type of brand. And I'm afraid a lot of their consumers are being pulled away in every direction, either down to the discounters. And we know that supermarkets in their fight back have had huge successes in great value fashion, right through to brands like Zara that have come in at the mid-market but had such a quick movement and fast pace in high fashion items that they've been able to provide the consumer exactly what they want at the time they want it.
Zara proves then one thing, that it's not necessarily that the high street in itself is a problem. It is possible to be successful on the high street.
I think that's absolutely right. We know there are examples and case studies with actual figures of uplift where brands have brought something different to the marketplace and been successful in the high street, or indeed use something called retail theatre, which is things like events or bringing experts and knowledge, or even just great customer service to the high street. But I'm afraid for those vanilla-like brands that don't really stand for very much, it's hard. And what I would say is for department stores, their finesse, their whole point of being was to bring many brands together in one place, lots of different products to make it easier for us to shop. Well, if that doesn't summarise what the internet actually is for shopping, I don't know what does.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? When you stand back a little bit, you begin to realise how many department store names have sort of disappeared. I mean, I have sticking still in my head from childhood an advert jingle that used to go Howells, Dingles, Jollies and David Evans. And there were lots in London, there were lots in provincial cities around the country that were very successful. A few years ago, we talked about the death of British home stores, and people were saying, well, that proves the department store is finished. And yet they're still there. And some department stores, like John Lewis, for example, seem to be in good health, rude health. What then is working for some and not for others?
Well, it's a fragmented marketplace. So if you look at a brand like John Lewis, it's the never knowingly undersold. It's the fact that there's a reassurance of value and high attention to customer service. If you look at some more of the unique department stores like the Selfridges, the Harvey Nichols of this world, more at the luxurious end, and also they provide the spectacle. We really do like the shopping experience if it's fun. We don't need to go shopping for the basics anymore. But when I think back to my childhood, many years ago, the department store was a treat on a Saturday to go to a cafe, to have a cup of tea. There wasn't really that facility anywhere else. Now our high streets are laden with food and beverage offers, and we go there to socialise and meet friends. Well, if that's in quite a dull and perhaps not invested in environment like sadly the regional department stores, it's going to be tough trading times.
Kate Hardcastle from Insight with Passion. Thanks very much for sharing that passion with us this morning.
Thank you.